report from Shannon Urton. She is our Region 2 Director. She's our representative to the National Board. And so she's, somebody we ought to, be in close communication with. And I'm ashamed that we haven't yet until recently put her on our distribution for our e-blasts and such, but hopefully that'll be cured. Shannon, why don't you take the floor here and tell us what our national organization's been grappling with lately?
Will do. So first and foremost, thanks for inviting me. Many of you know I've been in and out as the Region 2 Director over the last 3 or 4 years because I keep filling in when everybody either quits or resigns or something else happens. So I'm back in and I'll be back in until the end of next year. And obviously want to thank you for this opportunity. So if you have never met me before, never been to the judging retreat or been to the judging school to judge with me, I always talk this fast and I promise I won't use the 10 minutes that Werner gave me. So just a 2020 in review, the primary goal during the pandemic was obviously for the organization to be kept as a whole and to be protected. That meant everybody from membership to car owners to team leaders and even the staff members. So we also had to keep the financial interest of the organization as a whole in these thoughts when we were making decisions in regards to the pandemic. So what we're able to come up with, unfortunately, is what you see blasted everywhere, which are the rules and the regulations. And those were actually designed and came up with by the board of directors, also by the judging chairman for our protection as an organization as a whole. That's why you're signing the hold harmless, and that's why we're doing the things that we should be doing. I would agree with 99% of them, obviously. If you know me well enough, I'm in the medical profession myself. I'm in an emergency department. I deal with COVID every day. I don't wear gloves when I'm judging, and I haven't been, and I don't endorse it. And I'm the only person on the board that voted against it because that's not what the CDC recommends. But I digress. We're trying to keep everybody's interest at heart. So in regards to the budget for 2020, we actually made money and forecast for the rest of the year that we plan on doing so. The board of directors was able to assist with multiple organizations at both the regional and national level because of the cancellations at French Lick, and then some of the other major cancellations where initially we thought there were going to be significant financial constraints to those particular chapters that were hosting those regional events. So the board actually worked on the behalf to be able to protect those particular regionals. And then even with French Lick, we actually had a pandemic out clause. So believe it or not, we made money, and that was primarily because of team leader travel. So I wish I could be so optimistic as we roll into 2021. As many of you know, with the most recent resurgence of the pandemic, 2021 is going to be a moving target. We're not entirely sure how that's going to be. So the one thing that we do know already before we go into 2021 is the national organization is expected to have a significant loss. We have some contracts that we're not going to be able to possibly get out of, and some of the expenses. The board of directors is working on your behalf to try to reduce expenses, and we are exploring every single possible opportunity to do so. So the second concern that we have for 2021 is obviously upcoming events. Florida Regional is currently scheduled, as many of you know, but the board of directors have been made aware of the fact that Lance from Carlisle Events is actually going to change the format of Florida. That's going to directly impact kind of what we're going to do for that upcoming regional. You're well aware, but if by reading the most recent drive line, that David Brigham has made some specific changes to be able to allow cars to do more than one thing at a particular event. For example, if you need to have a performance verification at the same time that you're getting judged at a regional, because we have so few events coming up for 2021, the board had made the recommendations to make those concessions so that we could have cars still coming potentially for California. So we do have a board of directors meeting as a national board on December the 1st to discuss the changes that we're going to have to do for Florida, the cost that's going to be associated with it, because as of right now, Lance is only planning on doing an auction. So that's a lot different than what we've done in the past with the car corrals, with him holding the different auction spaces and having all the different vendors and the food that's been improved from past years at Lakeland. And that's not going to be the case for this year. So we will have a better idea of what day and what things are actually going to go on for judging after we have our board meeting on the 1st. As it pertains to nationals in California, as many of you know, obviously LA County leads in COVID cases as any county over anywhere in the United States. California's had over 1 million cases of COVID, and they've had over 250,000 deaths. So many people are actually concerned about going to California and Palm Springs, as we plan to do next year. And we're exploring what needs to be done. There have been no decisions made. It's going to be very expensive. And unfortunately, we probably are going to have at least a cost associated with it if, God forbid, the event gets canceled, which is not what we're hoping at this time. But obviously, if California is still in a state of emergency, we're going to have to make a decision sooner rather than later on what we're going to do with nationals, which as of today is still planned as a go. So as Warner said, the good thing that goes on with COVID, you know, we've had advanced technology. We're having meetings like this. You guys, many of you know John Ballard. You can laugh at how many times it took to go through 3 board of directors meetings to get John on a Zoom call. But if John Ballard can do it, anyone can do it, and I promise that. So all of us want to get back to things being normal. There's no question about it. But from a board of directors standpoint, you guys need to know that we are continuing to make decisions on behalf of the entire organization so that we can return safely as possible. So that's kind of a board of directors update from my standpoint. And because I don't want to hold up any of your meeting time, does anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you for joining us, Shannon, and thanks for all you're doing for us.
Absolutely. And if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out and call me. I do have a crazy schedule. If you go straight to my voicemail, I promise I'll get back with you. But if there's anything I can do to help to any single one of you, there are some of you from your chapter that have reached out. I'll continue to try to do so. So again, I appreciate the time, Warner, and thanks for the invitation.
Well, we appreciate you changing your schedule around. I know you're scheduled to work this evening, and we sure appreciate you making your presence here possible. So
no problem. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, folks. One of the probably the non-event for the evening will be our election of new officers. I've repeatedly in my columns and in our past get-togethers been begging for volunteers to step up, and there were a number of people that were seeking to not resume their current positions. So we were finally blessed with some willing workers to take on these places. But as it is right now, none of the vacant positions were challenged. Okay. So we've listed the slate for the new officers for this organization. And I'll just read these names to you. I'm at the end of my 5th year in this position. And I finally have what I think is an excellent candidate to replace me, and that's Tom Dingman. Tom, as you guys know, has been our judging chairman, and I think that's one of the most thankless job of the organization. So I think he's looking for an easier route here. So he's going to take over as our chairman, and which left the big job for Carl Luketic. And Carl has been one of our most willing workers over the years. Pleasure to deal with, and he's one of the guys that'll stay there through thick and thin. And I'm thrilled that he's willing to take this job on. I think he's exactly the type of material we want to have in these lead positions. I'm going to continue on and with the activities. I'd like, doing some of the fun stuff, and I'll talk to you about one that we've got still on the docket for next year. And I've asked Pam and Brian McCracken to join me with the social activities, and they've been very active in those types of functions. And I think they're going to bring some fresh ideas and blood into this organization. So that's who they are. I wish they were here so I could introduce them live. Membership, Kim Schramm, I have not met yet, but I'm sure thankful that she stepped up to take over for Ray Krawczyk. Ray has been battling some health issues over the last couple of years, and I'm really glad that we can give him some relief. So Kim, thank you very much. And finally, Mr. Dunham has been pleading for a replacement as our secretary. Actually, his wife, Susan, has been pleading for a replacement for Richard so that she can get off the hook, because she's, Richard's been taking the credit for all the good work that she does. So anyway, Bob Sedlak, who is he's got a couple of Corvettes. He's been bitten by the bug, and so we're going to take advantage of his services. So, Mike, why don't you tell us what the procedure ought to be to ratify this slate? Maybe before we do that, though, we go through the rest of the returning officers, which are, Tom Comandera staying on as our vet signal editor. Mike Clancy will continue on as treasurer, Bob Doobie, and Pat Hulst as our vice presidents, east and west. So anyway, Mike, can you tell us what they have to do to ratify this slate?
Excuse me, Mike. It's Tom Dingman.
Yeah,
Why don't we just ask if there's anyone opposed?
Well, sure.
That'd be too simple.
Better, yes.
Okay, if there's anybody opposed, please speak up. Turn your mic on so we can hear you and speak up. And you got 5 seconds to do so. Nobody seems to have opposed. That's not to say that if somebody would like to help out, I mean, I think it'd be really wonderful if we could start training our successor before we move out of the job. And that's one thing that we're able to do right now. Most everybody that's giving up these positions is going to stay on to do an orderly handoff. And so we're not just going to drop the new people into the grease. So we'll consider the election a success, and we won't have to do any recounts or go to the Supreme Court for a final count. I guess with that, we can start with our officer reports from last year. We're going to start off with Ray Krawczyk on membership. So anyway, Ray, if we could get you to step up and talk also a little bit about the membership status. I know you prepared a nice report for us, but you can summarize that for us.
Should be pretty simple. This is just really numbers from current status as we speak on November 15th. Currently, we have 213 total members. That's down probably just a handful from last year, where we're at the same time last year. We had about 217, and in the calendar year 2018, we had 215. So new members this year, surprisingly, and probably should be very proud, we had 21 new members join as of this writing. Last year in total, we had 17, and the year before in 18, we had 19. So in light of COVID and all of us having to stay socially distant, and with all the event cancellations, 21 new members is really pretty remarkable. This year also up to this writing, we have had 25 members not renewing or have been reviewed because of lack of payment, if you might want to say at the national level. And I got to believe, Warner, you and I had talked about national membership delinquencies being not aligned with our June 1st membership date. I think that's probably got a lot to do with it. Contacting a lot of the national members who have been delinquent, where even though they get an email, they just, it's an oversight on their behalf. But we've been removing Michigan chapter members who are more than 90 days delinquent after repeated attempts to contact them and them failing to pay at the national level.
Yeah, this is one that Shannon, I hope you can take to the national board to give us some relief, because people think when they pay for one, they're members, and they don't seem to understand they got to join both organizations, and it's got to be done with two separate, distinct actions. I belong to the Classic Car Club, and the Classic Car Club handles it. You can tell them you pay your national membership and you can join as many of the regions as you want with one fell swoop. But they say that can't be done for us, and it would sure make our membership chairman's job a lot easier if we could get some computer wizard to help us out with that. But anyway, I don't want to delay that anymore here, but are you all done then, Ray? And I'll move on. We'll move on then.
Sure. I think everybody can see the numbers up on the screen. If they got any questions, just give me a shout out and I can further explain if they need it.
Warner, I apologize. I do have one comment, one question. Sure. I follow up with everybody who's expired from Region 2. So I do follow up with an email and typically a telephone call for anyone expired. I have a question on behalf of everyone, because many of the chapters for the upcoming year are waiving or changing chapter dues and regulations. Do you as a chapter plan on doing anything different than you ever have done before? And I just need to be able to report that back, because that's one of our topics for our meeting on the 1st.
As far as the process, no, we did up our dues.
You did. Okay. I say that because Adirondack is actually giving a break, and some of the other chapters are giving breaks where they're not requiring the regular chapter dues, but many, like my chapter here in Cincinnati, and then even Columbus and there with the Heart of Ohio and Miami Valley, they have not yet changed anything. So thanks, I appreciate the information, and as I said, I will always follow up on whoever is expired from a national standpoint.
Great, thank you. Okay, with that, I know I saw Dale Tennant live on this thing. Dale, you still with us? Yeah, you're coming from a long ways away, I assume, right?
No, we're back downstate for the moment, but heading north here in probably a few days. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
Related to activities, obviously there just isn't much going on in 2020. The board of directors have been meeting on a fairly consistent basis, probably every couple of months, to discuss, among other things, the activities. In our last activity of the year, the annual Christmas party has been canceled. Communications have gone out on that. As far as 2021 is going, we'll follow Nationals lead on and take this a quarter at a time. But at this point, the first quarter of 2021 is fairly vacant. I don't think we have anything scheduled for that, at least not that I'm aware of. Beyond that, there is always our website, which provides the most recent and update scheduled activities. Warren will talk about something special coming up here in a little bit, which we hope we'll do later on in 2021. And then our normal activities, the Dream Cruise, the Concourse Elegance, and everything like that. At the moment, we still think is going to happen. I'm stepping down, but I won't go away. I will help wherever I possibly can in this. But as always, and the recurring theme for a lot of the activities that we do is we do need volunteers. So keep that in mind. Two things: you don't have to actually physically volunteer. If you want to just come up with an idea, that's great too. We normally have a pretty active calendar. This coming year, it may be a little bit thinner, particularly in the first quarter, the first half of the year. But we're always looking for some interesting things to do, piggyback on other car activities, if you will. But physical support volunteers are always welcome, and it's good to see an incoming slate of some fresh blood to see what they actually bring to the activity list as well. So I wish I had more to report on. Just the nature of the beast. It's just been a pretty thin year, so hopefully everybody is safe, and hopefully we'll have that.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dale, and thanks for the great job you did for us and bringing this organization to this process. I really appreciate what you've done for us, and we're gonna keep knocking on your door. But let's keep rolling here. I wanted to get a report from Mike Clancy. I see he's anticipated that and put our financial statement up for everybody to review. Mike?
Okay. So yes, I just got a request to fill out this form today. So basically this is just a real high overview of our checking account and PayPal. Just the amount of income and expenses. That's pretty straightforward. There's a lot more detail that goes into the annual report that goes to NCRS, as Shannon knows. And I will be supplying that. The big news, and the big news this year is that we have our IRS situation resolved.
Good.
And so that means we have our tax exempt status returned to us. We are a 501c7 organization. We are not a charitable organization. We are a social club. But that means that we don't have to pay tax for certain things. So, it's good having that status returned to us.
That's to your credit, Mike. Between Mike and John Tidwell, I mean, they saved this club from ruin. So we're going to be forever in your debt. So thank you again. And
yeah, thank you. And we didn't have to pay any fine or anything. This was all resolved at no cost to us. So it's a very good thing. And I would also like to add, we made a donation this year to the Pink Fund for $1,000, as we did last year. It's a very worthy organization. I'd like to suggest that consider an individual donation to the Pink Fund. Information will be on the agenda. As well, we're not having our annual holiday party this year, and we typically do a 50-50 raffle for the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, and Bob Dubé is involved in that, and that will also be listed on the agenda here when I bring it back up. So please consider making a donation to either of those fine organizations. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I'm gonna just keep forging ahead though, because we're running a little bit behind. So I want to talk a little bit about sponsorship. I want to remind everybody that, you know, Stanford Chevrolet gives us $2,500 a year, and they also, as an incentive to do business with them, they provide us a nice stipend whenever you buy or lease a car from them. That's a new or a used car. The amount of money that they pay us depends on whether it's a Corvette or a Cadillac or some other vehicle. I'm not sure if Kevin McCain's with us at this point. Kevin, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we'd love to. Can you turn on your camera so we can see your face? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Kevin's the guy you want to deal with. Understand, I know there's a lot of people that do business with Stanford Chevrolet, and we sometimes fail to get credit for it because nobody goes down there and identifies themselves as an NCRS member, and they deal with somebody besides Kevin. So it's going to be critical that you go down there, and whoever you deal with, it'd be easiest if you dealt with Kevin. But if you got an affiliation with another member of their sales staff, do business with them, but make sure you advise them and let Kevin know so we can get credit for these transactions. So there's two-way street. One, we want the money. And secondly, we'd like to have Stanford endear themselves to us. We really appreciate what they do for us. I mean, they bought us a trailer. They provide us a place to meet and have our events. And so we'd be really stuck without their support. So anyway, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Kevin, but is there anything you want to add to that here other than make us familiar with your face?
Well, it's nice to meet everybody. I know I've met most people in here right now. I know a few of you guys have sat at my desk. Yeah, the biggest thing that I just wanted to touch on is if you do have a relationship with somebody else in the dealership, in no way am I going to try and pull you away from them at all. I definitely want everybody to be involved the best they can be. I just want to make sure that everybody gets credit. So if, let's say, you know, I know there's a used car guy, Dennis Rohde. I think he deals with a lot of the folks in the NCRS. I just need to be made aware when somebody buys something or leases something. I want to make sure you guys get all the donations. And right now what we have, I think we do an annual donation of $2,500. If you lease or purchase a new Chevy or pre-owned, it's a $150 donation. And then if you do a Corvette or a Cadillac, it's a $200 donation. And I guess the biggest thing that we're missing is we're just not getting we don't know which members are coming in and out of our dealership and spending money with us. So we just want to make sure we give you guys credit for that. I know that my cell phone number has been sent out on emails. Don't ever hesitate to call or text, whatever you need. I always prefer to be contacted on my cell phone. That's really all I have now. Just want to make sure everybody knows who I am, sees my face. I don't always have a mustache, but I look forward to meeting everybody else in the future.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank the Stanford family again for us. We sure appreciate their support. So, okay, we're going to keep charging ahead here. Judging was the next thing. Tom Dingman, our this is going to be his swan song, I guess, as the judging chairman, and you'll be seeing a lot of him in the future with his name at the top of the list. So, Tom, you with us?
I wanted to review 2020 real quick. We did manage to have 2 judging schools with 27 members at the OCCC in Auburn Hills. That's Oakland County Car Club. March 1st, we had our last meeting, 36 members at Les Stanford Chevrolet and 1 guest.
Yay.
We had, thanks to Warner, Mike Therese, Pat Holtz, Steve Burns made presentations. And then several of us were in on a few judging schools, mostly Ohio. Special thanks to Mike Therese for his detailed judging schools there. I really enjoyed that, and I think some of the other members did too. meet. I don't know if this is still on, but the calendar that everybody might be interested in from Michigan, non-California event is still on the schedule on ncrs.org for November 21st.
I can answer that.
There are no hills. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, the chapter meet for this coming weekend is still on. I won't be attending, but I just was talking to Coach and Paul, the judging chairman today. So
Okay, good.
still I go.
Maybe Dunham or somebody else might be heading to Florida and interested in that. And now I want to move on to 2021. We're looking forward to judging chapter meet on September 10th and 11th. Just heard from the Adirondack chairman. They're going the very next weekend with a regional, or they might be. I still don't know if that's a for sure event, but they're targeted to avoid our date. And I've run past Ontario, Ohio, and Indiana. They say they're going to steer clear of September 10th and 11th for us. And the big news is our new judging chairman is Carl Lutetic. He's on the meeting here, and if there's any time at all when I'm done or when Werner's done, maybe we can have Carl and Kim just say hi and explain what cars they've got. Real quick, there's a picture here of some spiral binding. I've decided that we're going to split up. We do split up the judging manuals into sections. We've been doing that for years, but I think we're going to do some spiral binding to make these things a little more comfortable for the judges to hold when they're judging cars. This has been done to at least 4 sets of the manuals. We're waiting on 2003, 2004 edition, which would be the first edition for those cars. I'm talking with Dale about downloads on MichiganNCRS.org. We want to get a lot more documents on our website so that members can refer to them there. We'll hear more about that from either me or Dale or both of us in the future. Continue to assist with articles and slideshows, and take a look at the calendar. I've sent out to about 20 people today, but so far for 2021, I see the Florida Regional, maybe. Shannon has mentioned that. There's a regional in Scottsdale and Cedar Rapids, and they're mentioned in the most recent drive line about how to get your car PV'd or performance verified. The schedule is going to be on the website real soon. Last question was, let me know if there's anything else local that I've missed on this list.
Okay, the word is, the one good thing that we can continue to offer all of our members this year is the vet signal. And so, let's not keep riding our same horses. We'd like everybody to take advantage of this, the slack time you got, and write an article, and let's get this stuff published. So that's the appeal from Tom Comandera. Carl Schiller, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Again, as long as the virus goes away, we'll do the Woodward Dream Cruise as we have in the last several years in the parking lot, Woodward and Maple. So keep our fingers crossed.
Do we have, I know Bob Doobie, and he's up north looking for Bambi. And the only thing that he always asks for is our help with the Optimist Club. The Optimist Club is going to have the school system picks a bunch of families, and they're going to have a drive-through. So basically Santa will be on a stage, and they're going to provide gifts to these children from these needy families once again this year. Bob's is collecting monies at his home, and he'll bring that to the Optimist Club. They're working with the Optimist Club of Keegar Harbor, where the bulk of the poverty is. And so if we could get some help from the group, we'd sure appreciate it. They always, we've been supporting that charity for decades. And so let's not let them down this year. They're in worse shape than they've ever been. And the other charitable message I wanted to say, last year, we got affiliated with the Pink Fund. This is a group of people that provide money to ladies that are being treated for breast cancer. And the biggest problem that they're seeing is a lot of these people are the breadwinners for their family. And when they're ill and going through chemotherapy, they're unable to work, and it puts a devastating load on their families. So we donated some money there, and we're expecting a matching donation from the national as well. Last year, a number of the people that attended the function out at Lingenfelder's, they wrote checks separately. And so I'm just reminding them, if anybody's in a position to help, to send a check to the Pink Fund as well. And those addresses were on the announcement that we sent out about this meeting. So with that, I'll turn it over to Pat Hulst. I know he's with us.
I sent my yearly kind of update into Tom today, so it'll be in the vet signal. Otherwise, not too much to report since we haven't been doing too much. Working on cars over here. That's about it.
Do we have a secretary report from Mr. Dunham?
I do, Warner. It's pretty brief. I appreciate all the help that I've gotten over the past few years in this position, especially from my wife, Susan. I think it's important that the minutes for the meetings are recorded. I will continue to help any way I can. I've been a member for a long time, and I certainly am not going to back away now. Anyway, thank you for all your help and everybody's help in taking care of that task.
It's been great working with you, Richard. And thank you, Bob Sedlak, for stepping up and taking over.
You're welcome.
Okay, the one thing I wanted to say that we've got coming is Peter Brock. I'm sure most of the guys that are our age know of Peter Brock. He's the guy that designed the Stingray Racer, and he was Carol Shelby's first employee. Pete has just been awarded the Lifetime Design Achievement Award by the Eyes on Design, the Detroit Institute of Ophthalmology. And we want to take advantage of him coming into town for the show to receive his award. And we're going to do a seminar at the Tech Center, at the Design Dome. Mike Simcoe is going to let us come in there on Saturday. And we will have a program that's going to be put on by him. And we're trying to get all the legends of Corvette design. So Jerry Palmer, Randy Wittine, John Cafaro, Kurt Benyon, and Tom Peters are all involved with putting together this program. It's going to be really an interesting event. And to build on the overall event, we wanted to have an evening meet and greet with Peter at the Heritage Center that night. And we're also now starting to work on a road tour on the Friday. So this is Father's Day weekend, and I should know what the dates are, but we'll get plenty of PR out there. But there'll be a weekend, like I say, Father's Day weekend. You'll want to be in town, and I think most of us would want to do all these functions. Everything is going to be done to raise money for the Detroit Institute of Ophthalmology, who does a lot of the vision research, both into macular degeneration and the eye on the chip, where they're doing neuroocular implants into totally blind people and restoring some really poor quality of vision at this point. But they are the symposium that hosts this effort. It's an international effort, and we certainly want to see that effort succeed. So anyway, mark down, just block out that weekend, for Friday for the tour, Saturday for the seminar and the reception at the Heritage Center, and Sunday for the Eyes on Design show. So I think we've made it through the agenda now, and we've completed our election of new officers. So at this point here, maybe we could take a minute, and if Bob Sedlak, I know you're live, if you could turn on your camera, and Kim Schramm, if you're available. We'd love to, Bob, you can tell us about your efforts trying to get to the top awards with our organization with your 74 Corvette, or 6.
I've been a member of NCRS since 2017, and I have 2 Corvettes, a black 2001 and a flame orange 76. I was blessed to win Bloomington Gold certification with my 76, and I couldn't have done that without the help of several people in the NCRS, including Pat Hulst, Steve Burns, Dan Newhouse, his partner Jordan, and then a lot of other people who are too numerous to mention right now. But because of the friendship of NCRS, I'd like to return the help in some way. So that's why I volunteered to become the Michigan chapter secretary. My ultimate goal, as you mentioned, with my 76, is to win a bow tie at the national convention. And I was kind of really disappointed this year that the convention in Indiana was canceled. So I'm kind of aiming for Birmingham in 2022. So that's kind of my long range goal, bow tie for 2022.
Well, good luck with that, Bob. And Kim Schramm, are you with us?
I am.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. I've been a member of the group for a little over a year, and I have 2 Corvettes, a 78 silver anniversary, and a 79.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
You've been smitten. That's a wonderful thing. I like your wallpaper.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to give Bob credit for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, hopefully we'll have some functions and we'll all get to know each other on a personal basis this year. I'm looking for this pandemic to end. The good news is that it appears that there's a resurgence of our hobby because of this social isolation. A lot of people are renewing their interest in these cars. That's judged by feedback I'm getting from every one of our suppliers. That's Jerry and Scott Cohn, the Adam down at Volunteer Corvette. I mean, they're just everybody, the people at Corvette America, everybody has got no inventory on the shelf because there's so many people working on their cars for a change. So this is good. So hopefully they'll have them all fixed, and if this COVID thing's behind us, we'll actually be able to use them for the purpose that they're designed for, which is driving and enjoying them instead of just working on them. So, okay, I thought we were going to get cut off about 2 minutes ago. Mike, did they give us a grace period here? Could we open the floor up and get some more comments from the members?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, do they give us a 2-minute warning when they blow us off the air, or how's that work?
No, I'm still recording and we're still on, so please go ahead. Okay.
I guess one thing that we keep begging for are more volunteers, but right now we're just looking for some unique ideas. I talked to Norb Tchaikovsky, and we were thinking about doing a short afternoon road tour up to St. Clair again, and there's some interesting. There's the Edison Institute up there where we could go and tour there, and there's some lighthouses, and there's a light ship, and we might be able to do something when the weather clears, or we might even do something. Well, if we're going to eat outside, we'll have to wait till the weather gets a little warmer than that's forecasted for the next couple of weeks. So anyway, if there's anybody else got any other ideas, stuff we can do, and something we can do when it's cold out, we'd love to throw those ideas out there and see if anybody wants to take advantage of them.
Werner, I'm working with SAE on basically some virtual WCX events. Now, have you guys at all talked about a virtual Corvette show or something like that? I think that'd be cool because people could talk about what they're doing and show that and put something together like that.
Well, that's become a popular thing. They just did that with the Eyes on Design show. They've got a couple of drive-bys where they had virtual voting and gave out some free passes to next year's event. And they've also done some of that down with the Concord Hilton Head. So that's something I hadn't thought about for us, but that's certainly something we could do. Yeah, Mr. Dunham, you just joined us here. I saw is that your mic coming on?
There's my mic is on now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should just talk about that a bit, not now, but.
Okay. Amen. Well, great idea, Steve. And we certainly got having somebody there that can help us videotaping the program. That is helpful. We haven't put you to any much use this year.
I know.
An easy road, Steve.
I know.
I think we just set a record here. I don't think we've ever had an annual meeting and got it done in 45 minutes. I thought we had 40 minutes to do it in, and we were right about on time. So, but yeah, that's great. And it'd be an easy way. We don't have to, by putting it up like that, we don't have to take minutes, I don't think. So I think we skirted that bullet. Yeah. Anybody else with any comments or news that we'd like to share? Anybody buy a new car? Anybody got a C8 that they're showing off?
Warner, this is Carl Luketic.
Yeah. Hey, Carl.
How you doing?
Wonderful. Many
I
thanks
just
to
want
you.
I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to step up into a leadership role, and look forward to working with the board and the membership and have further success in the wonderful judging program that Michigan has.
Well, many thanks to you. It's a big job, and but I'm sure the good news is you got Dingman at the helm here, so he seems to have mastered that art. So you got a good coach. So thank you again, Carl. With that, I want to thank the board. I mean, for all their frustration. I mean, believe me, there was a lot of time spent planning activities for this year. And one by one, they got axed, and it's a shame. And hopefully, we don't have to duplicate what I call the bummer summer next year. I'm really eager to get out there and do some stuff and have some fun with these cars, and keep. I guess all we got is prayer to work for us at this point. So. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I want to especially thank the people who have served this organization in the past. Unfortunately, we don't have a Christmas party to award a gold brick, so that ceremony is not going to happen this year. But there's a lot of people that deserve that, despite the fact that very little happened this year, other than our two judging events or tech seminars. And lastly, I want to thank the new officers that have stepped up to help to take over here. And I'm really excited about the new group. There's a lot of talent there, I know, and there's a lot of great ideas. With that, I just want to remind you once again to get your checks in the mail to both the Optimist Club and the Pink Fund. The addresses are at the bottom of the agenda that we sent out twice. So if you can help out with any of those things, because you didn't go on vacation, I got money to give away. So please do so. And with that, I guess we can conclude this meeting. Thank you again, Mike, for hosting it. And I'm sorry for having cut anybody off that I didn't need to. I thought for sure that there was a 40-minute window, and they have apparently not enforced that. So